Most contests we participate in are pretty similar. They last 2 to 5 hours. They have 3 to 15 problems. Maybe you participate alone or maybe with a team, but they're pretty standard. We participated recently in the Midnight Code Cup and it was very different. We had 24 hours to solve 9 crazy problems. And I have my teammate with me to share some of our thoughts. Back in February, March, we saw a blog on Code Forces regarding a new type of competition. A lot of these competitions used to exist back in the day, like Marathon 24, Challenge 24, stuff like this, but that was kind of before our time. So we were excited when we saw this. So it was Midnight Code Cup, and the qualifications were on my birthday. So
Well, frankly, we didn't know what the format would be like. It just said that the qualifications are going to be 5 hours in teams of 3. So I think we even assumed it's going to be ICPC format or something like that, but it definitely wasn't.
yeah, true. we had no idea what was the format going to be, and nobody knew, I think, before except the jury before the qualifications. But it turned out to be more like these Challenge 24, Marathon 24 things. The qualifications were quite a bit different, at least in some details, than the real contest, mostly because it was only 5 hours.
Yeah, no midnight there.
Yeah, so
Depends on your time zone, but for us, no midnight.
Yeah, for us it was like 12 p.m. to 3 or something, but it was until 5.
Something like that.
But it felt a bit different because you only had 5 hours for 3 problems, so it was much more of a sprint. I don't know how some of the best teams did it, but there's 3 of us, 3 problems, so we mostly split amongst the problems, and each one tried some different problem. Mine was something about determining what some assembler code is actually doing, what kind of permutations it's counting, and the other 2 were more like challenge.
Mine was something like classic challenge geometry problem. I really don't remember the details. I think the third one was something like constructing counterexamples.
Yeah, but the tasks themselves were similar to the format of the finals, but the fact that it was only 5 hours, I think, really made it different. And maybe it would have been better if it was also longer. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the qualifications is that it wasn't really an equal playing field because of different AI software and computing power. So people that had, for example, your solution to one of the problems in the second one could just brute force it with more computing power than we had. So there's this imbalance in the qualification round, which they did a pretty good job of leveling the playing field in the finals. I think this was.
Yeah, I think the problem I was solving, it had like an A and B part, and some of the stronger models at the time could solve part A directly, while I spent like 1.5 hours on it. So that part kind of wasn't the ideal, but they did fix it for the finals.
Yeah.
There were no problems that I know that you could greatly benefit from a better model.
Yeah, I mean, we were all given access to all the JetBrain models and what was it? The computing greasers?
Juni.
Yeah, no, not Juni, but we also had the virtual machine.
Yeah, we had like a 64 CPU machine from AWS. So yeah, we did fine. We had no idea what to expect from our result, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the first time you participated kind of hash code.
But it's still different. But yeah, like hash code is one problem, and ICPC challenge also one problem. So there were a much more like interaction. This was like everyone is doing their own thing, and then we just add up the points. Maybe that's a fault in our strategy, but it was still pretty different from everything else.
Yeah, so we ended up around 70th or 80th place, which should not qualify technically.
Yeah,
but yeah, the competition was in Serbia, in our hometown, so we probably got a wild card invitation because of that.
we may or may not have been banking on this.
Yeah, I did have that thought that because we were the best from Serbian teams, that we would probably get invited as wild cards, and
Yeah.
thankfully that turned
Yeah.
out to be true.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. So like the next 2 months before the final, it's not like we could prepare. We had no idea what the format was going to be. We knew a bit more what to expect, maybe some more challenge like tasks and stuff like this. But you can kind of prepare for that. But there's a bunch of different tasks, so you never really know. So yeah, then the time comes. It's the finals. We arrive at the location in Belgrade. For us, that was just like a taxi ride to
Taxi ride with my suitcase from home to a hotel in Belgrade. I don't know what the taxi driver was thinking at that point.
For me it was even worse, probably for the receptionist, because I had like a giant suitcase, a bag, and 4 more bags, which I brought some like merch gifts for some of our previous guests. A lot of them were participating, so I probably had like the most luggage out of anyone at the competition, even though I moved like 5 kilometers or something.
Yeah, even a second monitor, right?
Oh yeah. We could use any equipment and tools we wanted, so I brought a monitor. It was kind
this
of
will become relevant to the story later.
yeah. It was a bit of a home field advantage, I guess. So yeah, we arrive, we get placed in our rooms, and tomorrow, and there was no signs of the contest when we arrived.
Yeah, I was not sure I was at the correct place. So.
Yeah, we just checked in, and I did an interview that you will see at some point, and then tomorrow morning we came down to the contest site, and finally we could see all the competitors and the banners and everything, so we knew we were at the right place. Yeah.
I probably knew when we had reservations booked for us, but very, very stressful.
Yeah. So yeah, the contest started at 11 I think a.m. and before that we had the opening ceremony. It was short, it was nice. They showed some of the sponsors, and the venue was really good. I was really worried about that. Like these 24-hour contests really need a good venue, because you'll be spending a lot of time there, and if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, so even though we had like a hotel room, coding was limited to the contest hall. Even though everyone bought their own laptops, it was mostly an honor rule. I don't think anybody actually. I mean,
yeah, it was just more to keep the atmosphere in the venue instead of separate hotel rooms. But it was great. Every team got like a pretty big table, of course 3 chairs, but also like a lazy bag and some additional like lounge chairs, so we had a ton of space, and you could spread around a bit as well, and lay on the floor and stuff like this. So it was pretty comfortable, which is important for this type of competitions. So we placed everything, all of our equipment, the extra monitor, we were right next to the screen, so again, that will be relevant later. And the competition started.
So usually when we start competitions like ICPC format, we divide tasks into groups of 3. So like the first third he reads the first third of the problems, like A B C D. Alex and Melissa, he reads the middle third, and I read the last third. And here there were 9 problems. So I started from problem G. This was not possible in this contest. This is not a good strategy, because problem G was called G get ready, and the problem statement was, and I quote, "See you at midnight." So I was confused, like what am I going? I think I spent like a minute or two confused, and I realized, wait, something is going to happen at midnight, so it's probably going to like just you have to be there at midnight to collect your points. So then I
Yeah.
started reading the next rounds, but yeah.
When we thought it would just be like a button that shows up
Yeah.
and you have 5 minutes to click it at midnight.
We were very wrong.
We were very wrong. It was much longer than 5 minutes, and it was not a button. But yeah, there were a few of these timed tasks. That one only opened at midnight, but there were two that actually closed before the end of the contest. At least they had multiple parts, and the first part closed before the end of the contest. The first one was A, and that one like had the limit to finish the first part before 2 p.m.
Yeah, so in the first 3 hours.
Yeah, and there were like 5 questions, and each one took about 30 minutes at most, so we needed to get right into it.
Yeah, and these were sort of built to like get you acquainted with the tools, JetBrains tools, and the AWS like computing power, and like they were designed to be done like at the beginning of the contest. So Junie, the JetBrains AI assistant, was able to solve a lot of these and stuff like that. And so each one of these was worth 100 points. So and so to give you a sense of scale, I think like the winning team had like 23,000 points at the end. So yeah, but each one of those points is very not easy to earn. So the 100 points here is pretty valuable. So so we answered all of the questions.
Yeah, so the questions were all like multiple choice. You had four answers, and you only had one chance. So if you missed it, those 100 points would be gone forever. And the questions are pretty random. Like they gave you like a Discord bot, and you had to to do a puzzle with it to get the answer, or you had to ask AI about this or that. One specific one, we had no idea what the answer was, and we have our third teammate. We call him the bullcrap master, let's say, and he's very good at guessing stuff. So he chose one of the answers, and the answer was correct.
Yes, to us it seemed random, but during like empirically on this contest, we determined that if there are k choices, he has a 1/k chance of getting it wrong instead of 1/k getting it right.
It's a miracle.
So yeah, basically every time he guessed, he got it right. And he had some explanation, but this explanation was not very convincing to me, but it seems it was correct. Okay.
Yeah, and this was so we had full points on the first part, and there was a surprise hinted at, I think around 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. whenever it is, that there will be a surprise for this problem.
A twist.
Yeah.
And we saw, at that point, I think we noticed that the scoreboard had the maximum number of points for each task. Yeah. So this task had a maximum of 1,100 points, and so we assumed that the next part will be worth 600 points. This was an incorrect assumption, as we'll discuss later. Yeah. Also, we noticed that problem G, get ready, was worth only 200 points, so this made sense to us that it's just going to be clicking a button.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about F next.
Well, yeah, maybe during this time, our third teammate Melissa was doing problem H. Problem H was SQL, I think. I don't know. We didn't have the two of us didn't have a lot of interaction with it. It was just having like some database, and you're supposed to extract like flag-like codes. Right? It's essentially a capture the flag within this contest, and
but like through manipulating databases and stuff this. So it seemed interesting. We didn't get to touch it much because he did most
Melissa
of the work.
Basically got all of the points there. Like he didn't find one of the 80 flags or so. So that was pretty successful. I think Junie was also very helpful there. So yeah.
Yeah, and Junie is the JetBrains like AI copilot or whatever. And we were all provided some of the top JetBrains tools for this, so it was pretty useful. Yeah, and at the same time, I was looking at problem F, which was really weird. It just said this one has like two parts, and the first stage closes at 5 p.m. and this task won't take ages, maybe just a couple of hours tops. Just remember, don't try to bend the spoon at the very last minute.
And it's called Follow the White Rabbit. Right?
Yeah, and it's called Follow the White Rabbit. So those are like references to the Matrix, also like with some, which was referencing like Alice in Borderland in Wonderland. That's a different thing. But yeah, so that is all we were given. You could not submit anything or anything. And this is probably my favorite part that I did during the contest. So I realized like, okay, this is about Matrix, and we're doing a contest, and Matrix is about like leaving the system, right? Sorry to spoil, but so what does leaving the Matrix mean here? It's leaving the contest. So I actually got up and went like to the common room and walked around, and what did I see? I saw a guy wearing rabbit ears, and that was like you had to follow him, and then he would give you some challenges, you would get them, and you would get an invite for the second part.
Yeah, basically a scavenger hunt throughout the venue.
Yeah.
Talking with the sponsors and like searching for some secret codes. It was very fun. I think maybe it would be better if we did it later. So if it's like just for change of pace, we did it very early into the contest. We figured it out very early, and then at some point we were very tired of staring at our monitors. So maybe it would be ideal if we had done this later, but we were still constrained by time. You had to do this first part by 5 o'clock. So I guess the rabbit ear guy didn't want to hang around during the whole day.
Yeah, and I'm very interested because, as I said, like I came up with it like actually logically, but I think most teams probably just saw the guy while they were getting refreshments.
Yeah, he wandered into the contest hall a couple of times too,
yeah, so you could like see him and then like realize that's the solution. But I wonder if anybody else also did it the other way around. Which is sadly probably the smartest thing I did during the contest. But yeah, another one that was kind of time constrained, not necessarily directly, but we had kind of a game that like you're given an API how to move your character and stuff like this, and it was kind of Fortnite.
Fortnite Battle Arena.
Yeah, it was kind of like a battle royale where you have a stage and you can place bombs, and your goal is to survive for as long as possible. And basically like the point system worked in such a way that the earlier you had at least some bot, you would have more points because you got like points proportionate to the person that has the most points, and points accumulate over rounds. So the sooner you get into the game, you will have more points. So this is another one where Druni, or I think maybe I used actually GitHub Copilot, I'm not sure. Well, one of those two, but basically, usually like when you do these games, you have to code a bunch of strategy, and the best teams probably did that, but I was kind of just coaching Copilot the entire time.
Yeah, so one important thing to mention there is that the results of this game were being like broadcasted onto the center of the contest hall, so everyone was able to see how their bots performed in real time.
Yeah, they gave us some kind of bad visualization locally that we could run, but it got stuck usually. So most teams were just looking at like the big screen in the, which was actually right next to our table, to see like a nice visualization of what their bot is actually doing. So yeah, basically I was just coaching it through Copilot. I was basically, so I got some prototype working that would just play randomly, and then I would go and look at the screen, then I would say, okay, make the bot do this, and then it would code that and
be a bit more aggressive. Try to go for lives of it.
Yeah, if you will like die next turn, move away and stuff like this. So I was literally like a football coach for the for the bot, and probably that wasn't the best like I don't think the best teams did that, but it let me do some other stuff at the same time because I wasn't too involved with this. And at some point, I think my bot had about 2,500 lines that were all completely vibe coded.
The joke was that his code will always have more lines than the amount of points it'll get for that problem. So we got I think 1,000 points at the end out of a possible of 5,000. So
yeah, I think it was a bit more, but definitely less than 2,500.
but order of magnitude 1,000.
Yeah.
But it was less than 1,500.
Yeah. So yeah, but that was very fun, honestly. Probably, in retrospect, should have used some well thought out strategy and less just pivots based on the current behavior. But it's these things happen.
Yeah, I mean, you only have so much energy, right?
Yeah.
Spread over all of these problems. That time I was doing problem E. So problem E was E is for efficiency. I think that was the name. It was a classical challenge problem. You had a number of the maximum degree of a graph and the number of vertices and some pairs of vertices you want to be close together, and you needed to construct a small a graph which will have these pairs be as close together as possible, and the max degree should be less than some value r, and this value r was 2, 3, or 4. So it was a very these were very specific graphs. It's not anything too smart. You were you could have smart strategies, but it was not anything too deep. You basically played around with constructing graphs in different ways. So I spent some time on this. I think if I spent more time on it, I would definitely get better scores. But as I said, it's a lot of conserving your energy and doing it at the doing what you can. It's better to tackle a new problem than to spend all 24 hours on this problem. So I think I ended up with about 2,000 out of the 3,500 it was worth. It was fun. One thing which was a breakthrough for me when I realized that binary trees have degree 3. I blanked on this. I had some graphs which had the diameter n and half for max degree 3. So I was and that's obviously optimal. So I spent hour and a half optimizing this, and then I was oh wait, binary trees exist and they're they have pretty small diameters, right? So then this led to more points. Then for small examples, I hacked some of the cases by just doing it manually more or less, or doing some stupid strategies. This also gave a lot of points, and it was just standard stuff. It was fun.
And around this time I think we got the surprise for A, which was actually that we could create questions, and we would get ranked basically based on how much the other teams liked our questions. There was some complicated rating system, but basically after each question you could like it or not like it, and if your question got enough likes you would get 600 points. And we thought that was it actually, that you just get, and that these were kind of additional questions, but they're not worth anything.
Just to waste time. But it turned out that they are also worth 100 points each.
So this task ended up being worth 4,000 or
4,000
something points, which is I think the second highest after the game.
Yeah, probably. I'm not 100% sure. But it was.
And that would be fine unless most of the questions were pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say most were pretty bad, but they varied in quality, definitely. The question we thought of, so we really liked the matrix problem, the one where you had to get up from your table actually. So we set a problem that incorporated this, and so you brought a bunch of stickers, right? So we wanted to use that because people love stickers, right?
We wanted to bribe them into giving us likes, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so going back to the monitor thing, we said, okay, so probably nobody else has a monitor, and we looked around, nobody else did have a monitor, so we put something like find the only per team with 4 screens, and you'll find the answer. So, and that was it for the time being. And so at one point, somebody from the jury, our friend, came to verify this, and he told us that there's another team that uses like 2 laptops so they have 4 laptops actually. They don't have a monitor. So this was then we had to change the question, but
and we did check it, but we missed it. I guess.
I mean, we checked for monitors more or less. We like laptops didn't set off any red flags. So and so what? Good on them for catching this. This was like congrats to the organizers for actually seeing this. So we changed it so because we had as you mentioned a specific position in the contest hall. We were right next to the big screen where the problem B was being simulated. So we just our question ended up being the team next to the big screen will help you out of this sticky situation. The sticky situation
and I don't think anybody got it.
Yeah, I refer to the stickers.
They just came to our table and were confused.
Where's the answer? So the choices were A, B, C, and D. So we chose D, right?
And I just picked it randomly.
Yeah, it's random. This was not the great choice because we know how this logo is supposed to look, but not everybody knows how this logo is supposed to look. And like when you rotate his D's by 90 degrees, you get something that looks like an A.
Yeah, and some of them were pretty clear, but some, like I wrote 50, 60 stickers
basically,
in 2 minutes. So
we got the call from the organizers. They said, oh, you have to have enough stickers for everyone. So we don't, like, if you go to sleep, this question still needs to work without you. So basically we wrote 60 stickers or so.
Even more, I think.
Even though there are like 30 teams. But maybe if everyone from every team wanted a sticker, then this would cause a drought even then. But we were keeping an eye on it. It was okay. After a bit of back and forth with the jury, we managed to get this question accepted. There was a scare that this question won't be accepted due to the 4 monitors thing and the stickers, but it was okay at the end. So
but some teams did they were okay, I get it, and then they would put in A and get the wrong answer.
They corrected this at the end. So
they had appeals and they all got points.
So everything was good.
That's
at the
a
end.
shame. Should have picked B. It's very
B
hard to confuse it.
Okay, so at that point, I think so. We Milis have continued working on H, I continued working on E, you continued working on B. I think then came time for the second stage of problem F.
And just to say, when you got the invite, you could book a session, and because we were one of the first ones to finish the first part, we had one of the first sessions.
Yeah, exactly. So the session was a blind coding challenge. Is that what it's called?
It's kind of it's like one person can only see the screen and the other person can see can use the keyboard. So basically, it was a standard problem, from LeetCode, the minimum interval that contains all characters from a string, and we actually got it to be correct.
But we were I think we were pretty tired at that point. We made mistakes and had 25 minutes or so, right?
25.
So at 25 minutes, and so this is something obviously not too difficult, but I think there's something 2 count arrays, and we got confused which one was which. So we got it working 3 minutes before before the end, but because lead code is pretty strict with their time limits, we actually got it. We got time limit exceeded, and it was like log factor more. So
I like used the map because like I didn't see a screen. Thought that would be an easier implementation. It was like TLE, and
it was n log n, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so so why I didn't bring this up as a red flag, like the problem said like bonus solve it in linear time. So like I thought that it was expected to solve it in logarithm, like linearistic time. That's what it's called. But no, it was actually, I mean, yeah, maybe like binary search instead of map would have gotten it to work.
Probably it was only like 1 or 2 tests that were
failing. Tried the age-old hack, interview question hack of replacing map with hash map, even though it's slower in practice, but no, that did not work, unfortunately. So but we were told that we could have another shot at it and to contact them at midnight, and they tipped us off that it's going to be the same problem.
So we can talk about that later. So what do we have? So there is C.
C is, yes, well, I guess C is like a dark cloud looming over our heads. It was something that nobody wanted to touch. It was like a geometry problem where you need you're like ice skating through a rink or skiing.
It was like a challenge problem.
Yeah, and you need to go through all the gates, and then you can go like in a line or in a circle.
Yeah, you need to like connect lines, parts of circles to go through some specific checkpoints.
But so circles are always uncomfortable, and you need to like have never be like too speedy. Or
there were a bunch of constraints regarding speed and direction,
friction,
and like they need to like connect at like the tangent point and stuff like this.
So the tangents have to be.
It was just annoying, honestly, to start, and we probably should have done it earlier, but because there were so many time constrained ones, we kind of left it until after 6-7 p.m.
and then nobody wanted to touch it, basically.
We were already actually like we after 6 p.m. the other problems for A were published, and we spent like 2 or 3 hours or even more doing that, and we kind of
that was a special kind of hell. I want to talk about those problems more.
We can, but we got quite annoyed and tired, so after that like nobody really wanted to touch C. I think I tried to kind of vibe code it, but it didn't work, so you kind of picked it up from scratch at like 3 a.m.
So C was my pet project at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. where I was like, we cannot have 0 on this problem. This is not acceptable. I was told from a very young age you can never have 0 on a problem on the IOI, and so this is similar.
And we did have like 500-600 points.
I think 400-500 at the end. Like I got it to like 350 like at 6 a.m. and then I went to sleep. And then I was like, no, I need to get more points. And then I spent a bit more time on it. And then like at 8 a.m. got 100 more points or so. And I was like, okay, I cannot spend more time on this. My head hurts. And
but that's basically all we'll talk about C.
Yes, C is definitely not the highlight.
When did we do D?
I did D at midnight, before midnight and a bit after midnight. Like D was my favorite problem probably.
Mm-hmm.
It was like solving questions, like easy algorithmic questions, but in a specific programming language, which is I think it's most similar to the odometer from IOI 2012, although I've never done that problem. I just think that's how it works. So you basically have like some sort of like graph codes where like you have some interaction between nodes and they spawn new nodes, and the problem, so which problems you had to solve, like add 2 integers, add 2 big integers, like big nums, sort, and product of two permutations. So the last one was actually pretty complicated, and the third one I almost got working, but I sort of quit when I realized there was a variable input, and it was like 4 a.m. That's when I went to problem C. But I was this close to having it, but it was I did not have the brain power to continue working on it. So I spent a lot of time on adding two big nums to work. I mean, just getting your head wrapped around what the programming language is takes a long time. So even the first one where you add two numbers, it's like 10 lines of code. Once you understand what it is, it took some time to like just have everything connect, and adding two big nums was great. I mean, yeah, it's boring. Like adding is probably the most fun I had adding big nums ever.
But that's not a high bar.
Yeah, not a high bar, but it was really fun. I wish I could have gotten more time. I actually, like, after the contest, like day after, like, it was had a nap in the afternoon, and I was literally dreaming of like how these graphs connected, and I was like, so yeah, this problem continued to haunt me even after the contest ended. I wish I could continue doing it.
Yeah, like Tetris effect for this.
Yeah, basically Tetris effect.
Maybe we can touch on I. I think that is an interesting one.
I is probably the funniest problem. So basically what I is you have like some pictures, like 20 pictures, I think.
Yeah.
And you want to approximate them using a small number of connected components. So what is a connected component? It's like, well, everything within this connected component is the same color. So you're given a set number of components in the picture, and you want to like make this picture to like a picture which is very similar to that, like sum of squares of distances or whatever, but you have only k connected components. So there was like different pictures. Some were like obvious in what ways you have to solve them, like by hand or algorithmically, and some were like picture of a panda, picture of a man thinking, abstract images. One was even a picture of the opening ceremony, which he featured in. So it was pretty fun. Milisov spent most of his time on this problem after midnight, or like past 10 p.m. He had very interesting ideas. Maybe you can show some of the pictures.
I can show it
on the screen. Like he had some beautiful approximations of these pictures. Basically he did the problem in Paint. So I was like, man, we'll buy you Photoshop, just please. But he's like, no, I don't need it. I can do it in Paint. So he got the most of the Paint tool, the Paint bucket tool, and basically and like I think at like 4 a.m. he had a breakthrough of like making his own borders, and then just making an algorithm that'll run it, and not like just painting everything by himself. But yeah, so he claims he wishes he could spend more time on this problem as well. So this seems to be a thing.
Yeah, basically at 4 a.m. it was you solving C, him drawing in Paint, me occasionally helping and being dead the rest of the time.
And memorizing the solution to problem G, right?
F, yeah.
F, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the most tired out of us three, and I wasn't very helpful past 2 a.m. So I think I went to sleep first around 6 a.m. and yeah, we can say about F. So they told us that it was going to be the same problem. So I just asked like ChatGPT, please write me the shortest possible solution for this. So I gave up some convoluted like way you would never code it, but it was pretty short, like 3 lines.
I'm still not convinced it's correct, actually.
So I just learned it. I mean, I understood it, but I also learned it like character by character.
Yeah.
And then like I wrote the timer for like 10 minutes before our next session was up. I went down in like my sleepers. We went in, did it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, basically I did nothing. I did not work at first.
Yeah.
And he said, and basically he told me, there's some, I think r is greater than 0,
Yeah.
and you replaced it with r not equal to 0, or it was the other way around, it doesn't matter, but it's something that semantically to us seems should be the same, but before changing that it was not correct, and then after changing it was correct.
It was the one thing I changed and it made it not work.
Yeah, so
I was just like, let's do it the same way that
we have
GPT
no
said
idea
it.
what happened there. We were dead tired by that.
And I went to sleep for another like 1.5 hours after that.
That's when I continued working on problem C. But this was so yeah.
Yeah, so maybe now we can talk about different problems in A.
The questions in A. So yeah, around 7 p.m. was when we, like, after we finished the failed attempt at the pair coding challenge, we got to see the questions that other people posed, and then at that point we realized that actually these questions are worth points and that we need to solve them, and
a lot of points.
Yeah, so this was sort of a personal help for us, which was because a lot of contestants did try to submit interesting problems, but a lot of them failed. So we did not like all of the problems, but that was the like system.
I just wish there was a dislike system.
Yeah, there was not. So yeah, you didn't get punished for submitting incorrect problem. Not incorrect, but troll problems. So like there was one problem which was like a picture of an elephant in a room, and the question was, which animal is definitely not in this room? So I figured it was a meme question, and you're supposed to answer the elephant, but the answers were like cat, spider, zebra, and elephant. And so Melissa said like, oh, but a cat and a spider can hide somewhere in this room, but a zebra cannot, and like an elephant is obviously on the picture, so the answer has to be a zebra, and it was incorrect. The answer was elephant. I guess, and that problem was actually pretty liked. I guess people were tired of doing actual problems and like had a meme question there. So, and probably if we had answered it correctly, we would have liked it as well. But this was a bit of a lot of things happened like this.
This is one of our favorites. If you overtook the person in first place, what place would you be?
Yeah, so there's one question we really liked. It was like, what is 9.8 minus 0.79 or something like that. And so why was this question posed? Well, it was like so one of the conditions for the questions were like, try to make something that isn't easily solvable by ChatGPT. So they said, well, look, this is something that is easy for you, but ChatGPT would definitely have a hard time with it. So it was a pretty like cute.
Yeah. I think a lot of the problems were just designed to waste your time.
Yeah, definitely.
Without really like needing to think of something smart. There were exceptions. There were some really interesting ones.
I think that one is very interesting.
Yeah, this one was interesting by screenwalkers, and there were some.
Hard to explain though.
Sorry.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
I think the most like problem was the Python jail. Like, do arbitrary code execution on Python, but you cannot use brackets or something like that. I think that was the one that got the most likes.
And there were some creative ones, but some of them were
yeah.
And I'm glad that we took like a more simple approach, just like come to the table, and there were some more of that.
Yeah, there were a couple of these like real life. There was like, what is the registration number of the car parked in front of the hotel?
Yeah, that one was fun.
That was fun.
There was we had a channel basically for sharing cat pictures in the Discord, and one of the problem was which of these cats belong to a person from the team that won the qualification.
Yeah. I think they won the contest as well. So
and stuff like this is fun.
Yeah, that was great. One of the questions that drove us mad in particular was, I think, like, try to find a vantage point near the contest hall within 50 feet, and you will find a deer. What floor are the deer's antlers pointed to? So basically, we went around, like, went to the 13th floor, the highest floor of the hotel, and we couldn't see anything. It was the dead of night. Then we said, okay, let's walk around the hotel for a bit. And so we walked around like for 20 minutes around the hotel, trying to find a deer, whatever that means. Our suspicion was because there's a famous beer brand in Serbia with a deer as a logo. It's called like Deer Beer. So
Though it rhymes less in Serbian.
yes, it doesn't rhyme in Serbian. And so we were searching for that, but we weren't able to find it. So basically there's like a mural of a deer painted somewhere on a building which is somewhat far away, and you can see it from the 13th floor, but it was not visible in the night. And then they said they had like a condition for this. They said like, if you cannot see it, take a picture of where you would be able to see it and message the jury. And this is okay. It's a good workaround, but I think we were just too tired to message the jury, so we just guessed, and we guessed correctly, of course, because Melissa was guessing. So that was pretty fun.
I think in general our mistake was doing these problems too soon, because we didn't have a deadline for these second problems.
Yeah, we just wanted to get it out of the way, but
yeah, and we got really tired and annoyed, so probably we should have spent that time solving something like C and do these like more in the morning after waking up and being fresh.
Another moment which was pretty insane to me was like was one where like you're given a redstone circuit in Minecraft and you needed to like find the output of the circuit. And so I know a bit about this, but I don't know a lot. And like I recognize that these are like logical gates, and one was an AND gate, but I did not recognize what the other gate was. It was actually a XOR gate, but I did not know this. So I ended up booting Minecraft during the contest.
All tools are allowed.
Yeah, so basically I had to so I solved this contest in C++, the graph language, and Minecraft. So a pretty interesting set of languages that I use. And so yeah, I it took a bit of time to download Minecraft. The internet was pretty quick. I mean, yeah. It was a legal copy of mine. This was a bit of an unfair advantage to our team because we had a legal copy of Minecraft. Maybe some teams which didn't have a legal copy.
I mean, that's their fault.
Yeah, their fault, of course.
They should have known. They needed it for the contest.
Yeah, of course. So yeah.
Let's talk about G.
Oh yeah, G.
I know you have a lot of thoughts about it.
G was so yeah. If you don't remember, it was at the beginning we mentioned the problem G get ready, which was. So yeah, see you at midnight. So what happened at midnight? We were expecting there like a button or some mini game to show up at problem G. But what happened was one of the organizers said we're going to have a quiz now. So everyone volunteer somebody from your team to have to like participate in this quiz, and the winner will get 200 points. And I guess the idea was to have a bit of fun because 200 points won't affect anything.
And to be fair, they warned us that this is probably a waste of time and that we should only delegate one person that isn't doing anything important.
But at the end, it seemed like most people like did not just delegate one person, and everyone participated in teams. And so like the first part was like finishing lyrics and songs, and the songs were somewhat obscure. I don't know. They weren't like they varied like from somewhat obscure to very well known to Eurovision. So it was okay. I think we were the best in that round.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
Yeah, and the second
Melissa
round
was our official delegate.
Yeah.
As we said, everyone was working in teams. So.
Yeah, for the first round he did it by himself, but by the second round we started working in teams. So. And then the second round was something like YouTube videos, which were most viewed on the platform, but that doesn't matter too much.
They were kind of random. They were mostly like Midnight Star and something like this themed, but...
Yeah. So, okay, and then we got to the semifinals. So there were 5 teams in the semifinals because of a tie in the third round. And so we picked our opponent, and we had to participate, we had to like alternatingly name like satellites, natural satellites of planets in the solar system. And we don't know a lot of satellites, but neither do they. So we started first because we said, okay, let's start with the moon, because so starting first and getting like an easy one out of the way was definitely an advantage. So we started with the moon, and then we went back and forth. We got to like 6, I think. So
Yeah,
they said
3-3.
3 and we said 3. I was like, yeah, I don't remember what they were. And so basically we had to come up with another one, and we weren't able to come up with it because they're pretty random names. So at one point we said Cerberus, which is actually a satellite, but it's unfortunately a satellite of Pluto.
Pluto not being a planet cost us points in the Midnight Code Cup.
Yes, this is something. so this entire contest was basically a fever dream. But I think booting Minecraft at that point and Pluto not being a planet were the things that were basically the peak of the fever dream. And then the other semifinals like took forever, which basically it was, so for ours this was natural satellites, and for the other semifinal it was stars, constellations.
Yeah.
And so basically there's a lot of things, random things that are constellations. So there was no set time limit on how long one has to like not wait.
Well, there was, it just wasn't enforced.
Yeah, it was very loosely enforced. So this round took about 30 minutes with one team like every 3 minutes coming, like just
randomly saying
randomly saying words like that are Greek gods or something random, which turns out
they didn't even get all of the horoscope
signs. Like Sagittarius, nobody could get Sagittarius or something like that, and I don't remember. I was saying something like
and anyway, then the final was
the final. We would have lost in the final anyway because it was like Play-Doh, like
it was like an art contest.
Create some, and we're terrible at art.
But in general, like the idea was interesting. It just took way too long.
Yeah,
it was like 1.5 2 hours by the end of it.
There were technical problems with the earlier rounds, and it wasn't probably organized the best, but it was like good idea to like just take a break for anything.
We appreciate it. We just, if it took like at most 30 minutes, I think it would have been very fun.
And if Pluto was a planet.
And if Pluto was a planet. But all in all, it was interesting.
It was good.
Yeah, but
I think so. That covers basically it. We after G, so we basically covered all of our actions after midnight. We did Milisa continued cracking the images. I added 2 big nums and did some stupid things in the ice skating problem, and you memorized the pair coding thing, and then basically at 6 a.m. we were really tired. We called it a day. We went to sleep. And we were slipping through in the rankings most of it. So at like for the first like 5 or 6 hours we were maybe top 10, right? Yeah, we were good, but
10 to 12.
Yeah, but then as we'd spent a lot of time on problem A, and as we were getting more tired, we started slipping through the ranks. So we were like 15th, 16th during the night, and then like before midnight, and then after midnight we went down to like 20th or so, and then we basically called it quits. We went to bed.
We made a lot of mistakes on choosing priorities, participating actively in G, or like doing F really early, or doing A, the second part especially, right after it came out. All of those were honestly mistakes that we should have used that time when we were more focused to do something more difficult. We ended up around 24th, so
I think we were like close to being like a couple of spots higher. Like I think we were like very close to 21st place and 21st place, and then like maybe like 1,000 2,000 points more would get us like.
So we did overperform our qualifications results.
Yeah, our qualifications result was 80th, but they were only 13th here. So that was good.
We beat like 6 teams or something.
Yeah, something like that. We were happy essentially. We went there not to be last.
Again, we didn't really know what to expect.
Milisa and I like participated in the finals of Hash Code a couple of years back, and it was similar. Like you're like there, but you cannot really compete with the
Yeah.
top folk there.
Yeah.
Just more
I
skilled.
think we were a bit disappointed because we were better for most of the contest. But if you asked us like before the contest if we were
Yeah.
fine with
Yeah.
24th, we would probably have said
Yeah.
yes. Sure.
If we sacrificed a couple of hours of sleep, we probably could have gotten a couple of points, a couple of places higher, 1 or 2 places,
Yeah.
but not really worth it.
Yeah, I mean the first place was insane. The first couple of places.
Yeah, we were
that,
like 10,000 points
They
behind.
had double points than us.
Yeah, we had like
it was insane.
13,000, and they had 23,000.
But yeah, anyway, right before the contest, I got the chance to interview the organizers, so that was interesting. Okay, we are nearing the end of the contest. How are things going so far? Any issues, any problems? Is everything running smoothly?
I don't want to say that everything running smoothly until it ends, so you guys say that.
Actually, everything has been quite good, so I hope it will remain good until the end.
So in about 15 minutes, we will have the first champion of the Midnight Code Cup.
That's true.
How long has this been planned? When did the idea start to have a competition like this?
I think the first idea was in the fall of 2024, so maybe October, November. It took us a couple of months to, I guess, accept that we are doing this and then find the sponsors. And then we've... How long was the jury working, would you say?
I need to remember. I don't remember.
It's like February.
February.
Yeah.
The idea was like in conception for the whole year, I think. Yeah. So in February. Really, it's hard to.
Yeah. It's hard to remember. It's been a long journey.
For me, it's like the last couple of days of hard work. They're all that's filling my head right now. Yeah.
And this is a change in regards to other standard contests these days. How did you choose to pursue this type of contest?
Well, I guess there is a lot of talk right now when you do, especially when you do like standard algorithmic problems and ICPC style problems about the LLMs and risks of that. We didn't want to deal with that at all, so it was kind of easier to let everyone do what they want. And also, and I don't know, I'm personally very excited about the problem solving itself. So we wanted to do as few constraints as possible to just concentrate on that challenge. What do you guys think?
Well,
You can edit it after.
It's no problem.
I personally very much enjoy problems which don't have an exact solution, problems which are explorative, which you can pursue and make and discover something new in them for yourself. Maybe you'll reach to some other resources which you haven't even heard of before. I constantly face such problems at work. I like to explore areas outside of work too, and I think that giving people a chance to embrace this kind of mentality where you have a problem, you have a bunch of problems which you have to solve in a short time. It just forces you to go out of your comfort zone, and such experience, I think, is what was the soul of these competitions when they were sorry, my brain doesn't work. Yeah, it's not braining.
It's not live, so.
That's not surprising.
Yeah. So I remember years ago, such competitions were on the rise. Now they're not, and now I think reintroducing them just will spark this
Creativity, maybe.
Yeah, I hope it will just spark a chain of such events in the future. Yes, and reintroduce novelty to the process.
And I'm sure you will succeed at that. It has been very fun for us as contestants, but I'm sure it has been very a lot of hard work on your side. So what was maybe the hardest obstacle in your way during this entire process?
I think that there were a lot of concerns and different problems. Yes, of course, pre-solving, to be sure that every problem is quite interesting. That test cases, there is a lot of to explore. So it will be interesting for the contestants, and I don't know. I think that also there were some kind of moments in infrastructure problems, like problem B, game Boomerman, or problem H about database. I wasn't developing it myself, but I think it also was quite challenging to develop it.
But it worked in the end.
yeah. And it's really, really surprising.
It's 4 minutes until the end of the contest, and they are calling me. Could they just?
Okay, can you just do a quick one?
Yeah.
So what do we expect in the future from Midnight Code Cup? Should we expect you here next year, maybe in a different place?
Well, I hope we'll do another one. I'm not sure where it will be. It's kind of challenging in terms of visas and travel and stuff like that. So don't have an answer for you yet, but hopefully there will be a next Midnight Code Cup.
And after the award ceremony, I also interviewed the winning team, which was the same team that won the qualifications. It was Homogen Heap. So, congratulations, Homogen Heap. You just won the first iteration of the Midnight Code Cup. You were definitely the favorites coming in as well as the winners of the practice rounds. How does it feel?
No, good. I mean, I'm a bit tired after so much coding. We didn't sleep whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm surprisingly not tired right now. I think it will collapse in a few hours at most.
Yeah. I think we also did not really necessarily see ourselves as what do you say?
Favorites?
Favorites.
Yeah.
There are so many other great teams competing.
Yeah, honestly, there's room.
It is a very strong field.
Yeah.
And did you ever participate before in some type of these 24-hour challenges, or is this your first one?
Not that 24-hour one, I think so. No,
that's my first.
Yeah, this is my first.
Yeah.
You?
I think we heard about Challenge 24 at about the time when it disappeared, and now it's first time this has really reoccurred in competitive programming that I know of.
It's a fun, different experience. Yeah.
And was there some special preparation that you had before this contest, or just having fun and?
No special preparations. You just have fun and see what happens.
It's hard to prepare for it.
Yeah.
And what was your favorite problem from the competition?
And I think B was probably my favorite, even though I didn't code.
Yeah, B was fun. I liked B. Also, it seemed like I was a fun problem, the image problem. But of course, I didn't actually work on it, but it looked fun.
Yeah, I was happy with the problems I looked at. I can't really pick a favorite.
Okay, thanks a lot. Congratulations again, and hopefully we'll see you here next year to defend the title.
Definitely, and we hope there will be something next year.
Thank you. So congrats to them, and thanks to the organizer. Honestly, this I think was a very interesting competition.
Yeah, it was. I think while doing problem have like scavenger hunt, we agreed that this is the best best competition we've ever been on. And while solving the user submitted questions on problem A, we agree that it is the worst contest we've ever been on. But I think we definitely converged to best.
It's so over. We're so back. It's
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, we would consider it the best, or if or not, then one of the best contests we've ever been on.
Yeah, it was extremely creative. We hope that it continues for a long time. We hope that it stays here in Serbia. I think it's really interesting and weird weird for us to have an international
Yeah,
competition
something
here.
that never happens, basically.
Yeah, so thank you to the jury for inviting us as wildcards, and for after that letting me take some footage that you have seen in this video, and hopefully this will help a bit, maybe show it to some more people, and we hope that it will exist for many years in the future.
Because it's definitely something that should exist. Like it's something. It was a really great competition.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. If you made it all the way through, congrats. Hopefully, probably didn't learn much, but hope we got to transfer some of the fun we've had.
Yeah,
And
we if you couldn't tell, we had an amazing time on the content.
yeah, and we really hope that like motivates you to participate next year, at least in the qualifications. Hopefully they'll be a bit longer, so it is more of the same feeling. But the finals were amazing. So yeah, if you made it this far, you probably like this video. So give it a like and subscribe. Thank you. And we will have some interviews from this event coming in the future. Bye.
Goodbye.